1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President appoints a committee to approve new appointments and changes to heads of government institutions. National Guidelines for Child Development. A complete report submitted to the Cabinet for an all-party program. A special program to provide aviation fuel from the 20th of this month. Distribution of urea fertilizer to Maha season commences. Attention has been paid on reopening of universities. Foreign news, Putin promotes superior weapons. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has appointed a committee to grant prior approval for new appointments or changes to the positions of chairpersons and directors of state corporations, statutory boards and state-owned enterprises. The committee is chaired by President's Secretary Saman Ekanayake and also includes Prime Minister's Secretary Anura Dissanayake and Cabinet Secretary W.M.D.J. Fernando. President's Additional Secretary Chaminda Kularatne has been appointed as the Secretary of the committee, the President's Media Division said. Accordingly, it is necessary to change the positions of chairpersons and board of directors of state corporations, statutory boards and state-owned enterprises. It's mandatory to submit nominations to the above committee with justifiable reasons and obtain prior approval, it said. The PMD release further said this committee has been appointed by paying attention to the written requests made to the President from time to time to change the positions of chairpersons and board of directors of state corporations, statutory boards and state-owned enterprises without prior agreement, as well as certain informal appointments. Accordingly, a letter has been sent directly to all the secretaries of the ministries with the signature of the President's Secretary in this regard. Meanwhile, the President has paid attention to introduce national guidelines and minimum standards for child development centres in the country. Cabinet approval has been received to the relevant Cabinet paper submitted by the President. These policies have already been prepared on provincial level in order to provide a better future for the children. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that a complete report on the discussion of building an all-party program was submitted to the Cabinet by the President yesterday. Participating in the Cabinet decision media briefing today, he stated that a program with common agreement will be prepared during the next few days. Cabinet approval has also been received to the establishment of an institute for professional media personnel. He stated that it will help to create a well-developed and professional media personnel. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister of Power and Energy says that the activities in Sapugaskanda oil refinery will restart tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Unloading of a crude oil ship that arrived in the island is being carried out. It is expected to begin refinery activities. The ministry stated that the ship includes 100,000 metric tons of crude oil. A special program will be implemented to provide oil needed for aviation activities. Accordingly, the Petroleum Corporation has agreed to provide 600 metric tons of fuel per day. The program will begin from the 20th of this month. A considerable flight service that will arrive in the country has been reduced due to the fuel crisis. A discussion in this regard was held at the patronage of Minister Nimal Sitipala de Silva today. This discussion was focused to re-establish the aviation service. Distribution of urea for the next Yala season has commenced. The first stock of it was handed over to the farmers in the Jaffna district yesterday. Sri Lanka Fertilizer Corporation has taken measures to send 200 metric tons of urea fertilizer to Jaffna. The inaugural ceremony was held under the patronage of Minister Mahinda Amaravira. The Government of India has provided 65,000 metric tons of urea to the country, and out of this, 44,000 metric tons of urea has already been received. The Examinations Department has called for applications from schools and private applicants hoping to sit for this year's advanced level examination due to be held in November. Candidates are advised to apply online until the 19th of this month. The Examinations Department has requested private applicants to access the website of the Examinations Department on www.donets.lk. That's www.doenets.lk or www onlineexams.gov.eic and complete the application forms and keep a printed copy with them for submission in case of need. Passwords required to complete school applicants' applications have been given to the respective principals. The examinations department has allowed the candidate who apply for second or third time for the examination to submit their applications after the release of the results of the 2021 advanced level examination. Candidates can get more information about this through the 1911 hotline number or dialing 0112 784 208 and 0112 784 537. That's 0112 784 208 or 0112 784 537. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The government pays attention on the recommencement of the universities. The University Grounds Commission said that a discussion will be held with the Vice-Chancellor on Monday. The chairman of the Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, said that it is hoped to open all universities soon. Academic activities in medical faculties and co-health faculties are functioning as usual. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
It has been reported that there is a risk of spreading dengue menace in the Galle district. During the last 2-month period, nearly 1,200 dengue patients have been reported. Most of the cases were reported from the Galle municipal area. The District Health Service Director Office has requested the public to clean their premises to prevent mosquito breeding. And that was Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
On to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. Putin promotes superior weapons. Ukrainian troops train in the UK. Leaders make fifth attempt to pass UN Oceans Treaty. World news in detail. President Vladimir Putin has seen Russian troops repelled by a smaller force in Ukraine. Still, he says many Russian weapons are tactically and technically superior. Yesterday, Putin opened an annual military forum outside Moscow and showcases Russia's latest military innovations. The weapons of particular interest are prospective models and systems that are future-oriented and will determine the future of our armed forces, he said. Putin said those models are years, even decades, ahead of their foreign counterparts. He thanked producers for supplying the army with modern weapons that work for the victory. Many Ukrainians have gone into battle unready for what they were about to face. Now some are preparing themselves for a fight that could last. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson promised to train up to 10,000 Ukrainian soldiers every 120 days. Some troops ran through infantry drills at a base in southeast England. The soldiers are honing their skills in marksmanship, first aid and urban warfare. Some have practiced clearing houses in a mock townscape British troops used to train for operations in Northern Ireland, Iraq and Afghanistan. World leaders will meet at the UN in New York later for more talks to save the world's ocean from over-exploitation. The UN High Seas Treaty has seen through 10 years of negotiations but has yet to be signed. If agreed, it would put 30% of the world's oceans into conservation areas by 2030. Campaigners hope it will protect marine life from overfishing and other human activities. 2/3 of the world's oceans are currently considered international waters, which mean all countries have a right to fish, ship and do research there. But only 1.2% of these high seas, as they are referred to, are protected. Back to the headlines of the world news. Putin promotes superior weapons. Ukrainian troops train in the UK. Leaders make fifth attempt to pass UN Oceans Treaty. And that ends world news. On to development news. The road up to Sunitagama Model Village in Veerakatiya will be developed. 60 million rupees will be allocated for the development work. More than 3,000 farmer families will be benefited. The road will be developed after 15 years. And that was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
On to sports news. India is leading at the newest ICC T20 grading list. England has secured the second place while Pakistan is in the third place. The fourth place of the grading has been secured by South African team. Meanwhile, FIFA announced the suspension of All India Football Federation AIFF, citing undue influence from third parties, which constitutes a series of violations of the FIFA statutes. The announcement was made on their website, which stated that FIFA would lift the suspension once an order to set up a committee of administrators to assume the powers of the AIFF Executive Committee has been repealed and the AIFF administration regains full control of the AIFF's daily affairs. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Fisheries Corporation has begun a program to sell fish online. It was opened by Minister Douglas Devananda at the Bambalapitiya Fisheries Trade Centre yesterday. A budget pack has been introduced at a reasonable price. Accordingly, the consumers can order their fish requirements online. The transport service from 2 institutes has been obtained to make the program a success. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The treasury bills valued over 60 billion rupees will be issued. The central bank has announced that the auction will be held tomorrow. These bills will be issued maturing from 91, 182 and 364 days. These bills can be purchased through primary dealers and licensed commercial banks. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
On to the weather report. The Met Department says that showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the east central, eastern, northern and north central provinces during the evening or night. A few showers may occur in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The President appoints a committee to approve new appointments and changes to heads of government institutions. National Guidelines for Child Development. A complete report submitted to the Cabinet for an all-party program. A special program to provide aviation fuel from the 20th of this month. Distribution of urea fertilizer for Maha season commences. Attention has been paid on reopening of universities. And in foreign news, Putin promotes superior weapons. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.